Welcome to the eOceanic Anchor Watch tutorial. Seasoned mariners are adept at anchoring, but it is an acquired art for newcomers. When I first started sailing, the thought of anchoring off filled me with nervous foreboding. The thought that the anchor would give way whilst I slept, drift onto rocks, other boats, or ground had me searching for every other mooring possibility, no matter how inconvenient. Anchoring appeared all too precarious for me, until I set out to circumnavigate. Then everything changed, as I soon found I was swinging to anchor more than 90% of the time. I quickly learned that once you get past the psychological anchoring hurdle, anchoring was the most enjoyable, the most convenient, the most flexible, and the safest option. You see, anchoring allows you to find beautiful unspoiled coves and empty beaches, little pockets of tranquility where you can escape to enjoy nature. It is also the easiest option for those not adept at maneuvering in fine spaces. And should the weather throw a curveball, you're up and away in minutes. Stress, on the other hand, was working my way around crowded harbours, coming alongside in tight situations, and the ensuing shoreside paperwork. When that was all in hand, you had all the harbour noise and activity all around. Likewise, all the damage my vessel has sustained has been from other boats or harbour facilities striking it whilst alongside. And when it came to the anchor giving way in the night, it scarcely ever budged. And when it did, it told me with a rumble, the body of the yacht being like a can on a piece of string. Of course you need both, but anchoring for me is always the first choice where practical. Moreover, anchoring is a critical skill, as that anchor may be your last line of defense for a lee shore. So it is important to be highly comfortable with the procedure. All this said, and yet I haven't touched upon the single greatest benefit. Most times, anchoring is free, or at least dramatically less than paying for a berth or mooring in a harbour. When you think about it, if you avail of any of the hundreds of anchorages eOceanic provides, just once or twice, you've paid back your entire annual eOceanic investment there and then. What's more, you will be experiencing the true freedom that sailing offers. So if you're a newcomer, let's see if we can get you up and running with anchoring. First and foremost, check out anchoring in eOceanic Experience. From the category list, just type in anchor and you will discover there are ample results with that in the title across the various categories. First and foremost, this article is where there is plenty of joy to be had on the subject. Then in Havens, you will see we provide you with the widest array of anchoring opportunities wherever we cover. And when it comes to finding your spot amongst these, Resource Search will provide exactly the right protection for the conditions, with a safe secondary location should you need it. So now all that is left is that inhibitor I had from the outset, that precarious feeling that the anchor will break free, either with you aboard or ashore. So let us now introduce you to the ever-vigilant watchkeeper, eOceanic Anchor Watch, that will be a friend to newcomers and seasoned sailors alike. First off, touch or swipe from the left to get the menu. Select Anchor Watch. Once this happens, the vessel's position is no longer represented by the boat icon, which is replaced here by the anchor position icon, ready to be set. You will now also notice a drop anchor button has also appeared at the bottom of the screen, and this will be used to set the anchor's position. So let's run through a typical anchoring situation to show how it works. And I'm using our survey rib here, and I'm just going to zoom in a little to show the adjacent contours. As always, once you move the viewing area, the recenter option immediately appears. So when you want to recenter and reattach the chart to the movement, just touch the recenter icon. So the next step is to let the anchor go and touch the drop button when it hits the bottom to get it as close to the position as it will set as possible. The button then changes to a weigh anchor icon, and the screen then presents the default anchoring perimeter boundary ring. Then on the bottom of the display is the anchor watch panel detailing the position, perimeter ring radius, and current distance from the anchor's position. In the background, an anchor log commences. When all is complete and the watch commences, you will hear a beep sound to confirm the anchor watch is active, and it is visually confirmed by the anchor alarm icon in the top right-hand corner of the display. And if you have any concerns regarding the device's volume settings for the alarm, you can check it by simply touching this icon. That's it, all done. your anchor watch is set and you will be notified if your position moves outside the default boundary perimeter. You can now expand that to an appropriate range for your location by touching and dragging the handle at the bottom of the perimeter circle. You are free to adjust this at any time, and the watch automatically adopts to the last designated boundary perimeter you set. Here in this example, I'm going to reduce this as I'm going to pull out of the perimeter to illustrate what happens. But before I do that, I should say that the anchor watch is a discrete background process. You are free to use any other function of the eOceanic application when it is set. Say for instance, view the surrounding local havens or just explore the chart as normal. All will appear exactly as normal, save for the anchor watch icon in the top right hand corner, visually confirming the watch is active, and you will see the anchor log is running on the menu. When you want to return to the anchor watch to see how you are holding, just go to the menu as before and touch the anchor watch. Now I'm going to motor out of the set boundary to show you what happens. As we pull out, you can see the distance from the recorded anchor position increases in real time until it touches the set perimeter radius. As the vessel and the anchor move apart, you can now see that the anchor watch continuously lays down a track. This on-screen track is maintained so you can see exactly what is going on over some time on anchor. Then when we reach and cross the boundary, the international navigation warning sounds. At this point, you have the option to snooze the alarm and reset by touching the presented button. Effectively, this option quells the alarm and notifies you that the watch is inactive whilst you consider your best course of action for the triggering event. The only time the alarm will stop of its own accord is should the position of the vessel return itself inside the set boundary you have set. For instance, if a tight boundary is set and a gust should suddenly straighten the chain, pushing the vessel outside the set limit and trigger the alarm, if the weight of the chain then causes it to drift back inside the boundary, the watch automatically resets with a confirmatory beep. So outside of this, your anchor watch options are threefold. You can, if you feel the anchor has broken free, lift and go, as we illustrate here. To do this, of course, go through the procedure on the vessel and touch the weigh anchor button to cancel the watch. This clears the screen of tracking data, leaving it ready to commence another watch, and it also closes and files the anchor log. The other option, as with the gust situation, is when upon inspection you feel the anchor is well in, and you might just want to simply widen the boundary perimeter to accommodate for the gusts. I will just do this here on the screen. On the other hand, if you feel the anchor has shifted and set again, you can reposition the anchor to where you estimate it is now. To do this, simply touch the anchor position icon and slide it to where you might think the anchor has reset itself. Now, had we been on anchor for some time, that anchor track would have provided ample evidence of what has been going on to provide good data for that repositioning. Whatever the case, you will hear a confirmatory beep when it detects it is once again inside the new boundary and the watch recommences. The key thing to remember is you are free to expand, reduce, and recenter the boundary perimeter any way you like. All you need to know is that when the recorded position goes from inside the boundary to outside, the navigation alarm sounds. Conversely, when it goes from outside the boundary to inside, the watch automatically resets with a confirmatory beep. The anchor watch is highly optimized for anchoring, but it is a straightforward function, so there is no reason why you cannot use it creatively in other situations, and we have not restricted it in any way. For instance, and this admittedly takes a little bit of fiddling about here on a small screen because the anchoring optimization, but you will see what I mean. If you are a skipper needing to get your head down and were concerned with the crew passing between the Isles of Scilly and Land's End, you could use it as a fail-safe alarm for peace of mind. This is a very small scale setup, so I have to do a lot of pinch to zoom sizing, but it is possible to set a boundary exit alarm so you can sleep more peacefully. Likewise, if you're tacking about between hidden hazards, it is a thing of a moment to quickly put a boundary alarm on. So it's worth bearing in mind that this facility might prove useful in more situations than just being at anchor. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here and return our focus once again to anchoring itself. As we've seen with eOceanic, you can now have a helper to maintain a diligent watch when aboard, especially whilst you sleep. But what about when you leave the vessel unattended on an anchor? What happens if it starts to drag then? Well, eOceanic Anchor Watch can help you with this too. We have an additional live anchor watch facility that enables you to maintain a watch from anywhere, anytime, and it extends to you that protective boundary breach warning wherever you are. 2 specific arrangements need to be taken care of to make use of this capability. The device that is running the anchor watch must stay aboard the vessel, and this device must have access to the internet. With these in hand, setting up an external watch is very easy. It can be achieved in 2 ways, one of which requires a couple of touches. But first, let me show you the slightly longer way to do it, as it serves to illustrate what is going on. Let us take this anchor watch we have here in hand. When we go to the menu, we see its associated anchor log is running in the background, and it is this that we will transmit like you can with any of your logs, but complete with its anchor watch arrangements. So we will select My Logs from the menu. Here you see your logs in the application with the latest anchor watch log running at the top. As with all your logs, all that is required to create a unique sharing link is to touch the share icon. Once touched, the confirmatory notification presents saying copy the link to clipboard. Then, with the unique sharing link in the clipboard, simply go to your preferred application to share the link, such as a text message, WhatsApp, or in this case I will use email. Then it is just a matter of pasting the clipboard link into the email and sending it, which I will send to myself here to illustrate it working. Then I will just return to the anchor watch on the device and leave the device on charge aboard the vessel. That's it, you're all set, and anyone who has the unique link can view the position thereafter. But before we proceed, let me say that's the round-the-house way of sharing the link, which illustrate the principal components at work here. Let me now show you the easy option, which is to simply use the live log share link that is always present on the screen. This one-touch shortcut shares any log that is recording, or if no log is present, it starts a new one and copies the link into the clipboard. Simply touch it and it collects the link of the current anchor log, and it places it into the clipboard for you, ready to share. That's all that's required at any point. So when ashore then, it's just a matter of going to the link and opening it up in any browser. In this case, I will open up here on a laptop. You will then be asked to provide the website with audio permissions. This is necessary for the alarm to sound in the browser should the vessel drift outside your set boundary. That's it, you're all done. You can now keep an eye on the vessel in real time when you are ashore. And as you see here, the survey rib has had a right wander about, but it is happily inside my set boundary. You can leave the page running in the background, and if the vessel should step outside the set boundary, it will sound the standard navigation alarm in the browser. Finally, I should say the arrow endpoint on the track here presents the current position. You can of course monitor the watch on any device or many devices that support a browser such as another mobile phone. Just copy the link into the browser and enable the audio so the alarm may sound. So that's the eOceanic Anchor Watch. With eOceanic, you've got lots of anchorages to enjoy. And with a little help from eOceanic Anchor Watch, we hope you will sleep better and enjoy your time ashore all the more, whilst your vessel happily swings on her chain. Thank you for taking the time to view this eOceanic Anchor Watch today.